Hello, my name is Ryan Runcie of Runcie Studios, an artist safe space and art haven. Welcome back to the Clientele series. Today I'm going to be talking about working with government. I mean small government in terms of cities or local governments. I've never worked on state level or national level, so I can't speak on that just yet. Maybe in the future, fingers crossed, right? But for now, we're going to be talking about the local level and city level. Um, so, one thing that I want to start with that is extremely different than the other opportunities and other clientele is that some cities actually have something called artist pools, and they will have it on a national level and a local level. Essentially, these are artists that essentially the artist pool is a large scope of artist resumes and just their bodies of work that the city government can go through, whether that's AIPP, Art in Public Places, or whoever the entity is that's trying to do the work. They will look through this body of artists to try and find artists to reach out to. The reality is that they will reach out to people that aren't on the list if they desire their work or they think that artists will bring a certain level of recognition to their name and the city itself. But for the most part, there are artist pools that you have to be part of that usually run 2 years in length, sometimes longer, and you re-register every year. But it's a simple process for most cities, and this is kind of the way that they um, keep a fair application process, because it's very easy for something like this to be bogged down with thousands and thousands of applications nationally from artists that you just don't have the time to research individually. So having all of their information put in right there by them, and it's there for years on end, it makes it easier for the people looking for the artist to rifle through these artists that they've seen before and be very specific on who can complete a job. So with that said, I'm gonna go back to the previous structure that I was working with for the clientele series, and so we're gonna jump into the time span that you can expect when you're working on one of these projects. Anything that is small government or government in general, I would say expect at very minimum 3 to 6 months. I honestly believe you would be lucky if you could get it in and out in 3 months. So realistically, look anywhere from 9 to 18 months on any job. The larger the job, the more hoops and officials that you're going to have to go through to get approvals. There's probably going to be more meetings that you're going to go through. Depending on the severity of the topic that you're making artwork for, you could end up having 5 to 10 more meetings than if it was a very subtle or nuanced mural where you have more say in what goes on. And that's quite often the case, is that there's a large project that they want carried out. Just like with most commission work, they have an idea or concept that they like carried out, and they just need an artist that is skilled and reputable to do it. Occasionally, there are opportunities. Like here in Austin, we have something called Tempo, and they basically offer a stipend for you to create any type of artwork you want on specified locations. So, there are a lot of opportunities in the government realm. You just have to be willing to deal with a longer time scale. So make sure you're taking other commission work and trying to make regular sales during that time period while you're in negotiation and the design phases of your government commissions. All right, expectations and boundaries. Again, expectations are what the company or the government entity will expect you to complete contractually, and then boundaries are the expectations you need to set up with the client. So things like pricing, things like materials needed, a stipend, how they're going to cover travel fees, food, etc. There's a lot more leeway in terms of government. Before I've even had a discount to Sherwin-Williams through the city government. So just make sure you're fully aware of all of the benefits of working with them and using their credits and write-offs and all the I wouldn't say loopholes, but all the benefits the city has to working with different contractors in the city, because sometimes those benefits extend to you and save you money and make you more profitable. One big expectation that you can always expect is contract when you're doing anything government, whether it's very chill, super amount of leeway to do whatever you want, or very rigorous and very rigid time constraints. Like no matter what, you're going to see a contract. So be very aware of that. Know how to read them. Know that the people that are writing these contracts might be familiar with contract, but not necessarily artist contract. So I kind of went over that in clientele series on commercial entities of what you need to look for and be knowledgeable about in your contract. But all of that still applies here. And usually there's a better mutual protection when it's coming from the government. Of course, that's not a catch-all. You still want to look over the contract, have someone that you trust look over it as well and give you feedback. But other than that, you guys, the negotiation process is very simple, and it's probably the most straightforward out of all the processes. Just the way the government can function with billions and trillions of dollars in debt. I mean, don't let the money be the thing that stops you from making a deal go through. Just be very honest, straightforward, like with everything else, and negotiate on your behalf. Make sure everything is mutual. So you guys, this one's a little bit shorter because it's a little bit more straightforward. The only hang up with this one, I would say, is the time span. If you can create enough work and amass enough jobs in the between moments while you're doing a government commission, then I would say definitely take them and keep them rolling on like a 2-year basis, and it might be something that you really enjoy. That's it for this episode, you guys. Thank you for listening once again. Feel free to like down below, subscribe if you haven't, hit that bell, and I'll see you guys next time.